Hello, my friends, and welcome back. It seems like things get more complicated in the Far East, um, and there's a lot of tension there. They're trying to contain China, it seems, they being United States and its allies, let's put it nicely. And I now probably President Joe Biden visited South Korea, and now he's in Japan. He was taken to Japan, including his part of the remaining brain that he's got. So I don't know if this is President Biden talking or the people who wrote the script. So the script or the speech writers, or it's a slip of the tongue, or it's just he doesn't care. I'm not certain at this point. All I can tell you is I'm getting the impression that Joe Biden, and I don't want to insult anybody, but I think that Joe Biden is what, almost 90 years old. So it would be fair that he he is past the average, uh, natality lifespan of a regular human being. So he is in the bonus points right now. It means he's at least 10 years over, right? I don't know how much is right now in the United States. It used to be 82 or 84 for men. I think 82 for men, 84 for women, but it was about 10 years ago. From what I remember, that decreased to like 70 something. So he is about 10 years above the expiration date. Let's put it ugly, but that's a reality. So if I don't know if he's okay with him, like all this thing being blown up. But for instance, there are other people, a majority of the population of this planet, who did not have a chance to live their lives, including a lot of children who, are young. And I don't think it's fair for this gentleman to make these kind of statements and expose our lives to such a risk that could mean annihilation. To be more bluntly, he doesn't really care because he's 90 almost. And his decisions will affect my life, and I'm not 90, so I still have life to live. So I don't know if that's kind of thing. I don't know if people behind him are just crazies, reckless, limited, very limited. I'm not certain because the policy that I see pushed, it's a very risky policy. It's not like you play with water toys here, pum pum pum. You play with atomic weapons, nuclear weapons. So this article comes from USA Today from May 23rd, 2022 by Maureen Gruppy. And this is the title. President Biden said US would send military if China were to invade Taiwan. Do you know how important, how dangerous, how let's unpack this statement. First, this U.S. says that it still abides by the one China policy, which means they agree that China and Taiwan are um, not to Taiwan is not an independent country out of China. But on the other hand, is going to defend Taiwan if China invades its own territory or its own country. It's a contradiction here, but let's see what's happening here. President Joe Biden on Monday said the United States would come to Taiwan's defense militarily if China invades and tries to take over the self-ruled island by force. Now imagine that. Imagine. That's the commitment we made, Biden said during a news conference in Tokyo with Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. I don't think that's really the commitment, but we'll see. U.S. relations with the island are governed by the 1979 Taiwan Relations Act, which outlines the U.S. commitment to help Taiwan maintain its military defense. To what extent? To world annihilation? I don't know. It does not require the U.S. to help Taiwan maintain. It does not require the U.S. to intervene militarily, which Biden has ruled out doing in Ukraine. So it does not require the U.S. to intervene militarily, but Biden just said he would. After Biden made a similar comment, then the damage control people kicked in about defending Taiwan in October. The White House emphasized there was no change in policy. So what's going on here? Is he gone? The brain did not catch up with him. His body was shipped in the East Asia, but the brain was not delivered by Amazon yet. On Monday, both Biden and Kishida said they support the one China policy that recognizes there is only one Chinese government. Is this doublespeak or what? But does not mean, I'm quoting, but that does not mean that China has the jurisdiction to go in and use force to take over Taiwan, Biden said. It will dislocate the entire region. No, it's not wouldn't dislocate the entire region, but what do you know? That's one thing. The other thing is it doesn't take to use force to take over Taiwan. If it's theirs, why do they have to use force? And if they use force, that means that something is going on in Taiwan. I don't know. It's weird, strange, whatever. And then he tries to justify helping Ukraine against Russia because otherwise, the whole thing blows up. And it says here that while the U.S. is heavily arming Ukraine's military and providing intelligence assistance, which Biden says don't say it loudly, Biden has maintained he won't send troops to fight against Russia forces. That could risk a war with a nuclear power. Is Biden unaware of the fact that China also has nuclear weapons? Might be, or at least this author, while the U.S. is heavily arming Ukraine's military and providing intelligence assistance, Biden has maintained that he won't send troops to fight against Russia's forces because that could risk a world war with a nuclear power. What about Taiwan? Wouldn't that China views Taiwan as part of its territory, while Taiwan sees itself as an independent sovereign nation. The U.S. has long tried to navigate a fraught middle ground that aims to support Taiwan without infuriating China. It was, I can't remember if it was, what admiral had put forth a report, MacArthur, I can't remember who put forth a report and said that Taiwan is it's an island, but it's like a how do you call that, airplane carrier, where you can use it to expand and hit targets from there. It says here that on the purpose of Biden's 5-day trip to Asia was to send a message that he's still paying attention to the region despite the war in Ukraine. And then what we have here, I think one of the most important things is that Biden on Monday backed Japan's desire to become a permanent member of the UN Security Council. He said Japan has been an outstanding partner throughout the crisis in Ukraine. So that's why is Japan, let's put it this way, leaking the booth of the American friend who has 55,000 military personnel on its island, but it's sovereign, independent, and good, Japan. So yeah, it's so many contradictions here with, we don't risk with Russia, but you risk with China. But the thing is, you see, United States is like someone who directs wars from far away. He has, in this case, Ukraine over there. He's just from far away. He's not hit. He's just punching through someone else. You can't punch me. I'm not involved. Then here with Taiwan, is going to send military. Yeah, like, do you think Japan is not going to get involved? Do you think that South Korea will not get involved? Do you think that Australia will not get involved? They're all going to get involved. Philippines probably is going to get involved, since I have another article here where Philippines reiterated his military brotherhood with United States, which you know what brotherhood means, from this guy to this guy, because let's put it this way, they don't negotiate from the same level. The United States doesn't negotiate with anybody from the same level. And on the other hand, you would say, why not? I tell you why not. Because when they start mentioning international law and justice and freedom and all these terms, they apply equally to everybody else. But when it's about one-on-one, it's not going to apply that. So yeah, here is to respect, for instance, Ukraine's sovereignty. But when you look at, for instance, other countries like Yugoslavia, nothing about the sovereignty of Yugoslavia in 1999. NATO bombed us out of Yugoslavia, right? So you see, that's only one example. So, and then NATO defensive alliance, again, if it's defensive alliance, I don't remember Yugoslavia attacking NATO. I don't remember Libya attacking NATO. But, oh, it's preemptive? Well, preemptively, Russia can hit right now if he wants Germany, right? Because they think preemptively that they might hit them in the future. That's the way it works? Okay, then. And it's fair game. What kind of world is that? So nevertheless, about Taiwan, it's inflammatory, and they keep people like they always do, you know, divide and impera, divide and conquer. That's what it is here. Divide them over there, get your little stuff, keep them against one another, and then you do your own interest. That's in Middle East, that's in Europe, that's in Asia. And they have the same puppet master. But it's not the United States who is the boss in here. Remember, there are people behind, there are interests behind who dictate all this. And that's economics, financial interests. These are the main ones. And with the support of military, they flex muscles and they make threats and they make blackmails. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.